welcome back to my channel. I am Jessica and this is The Field's Full House. So today's video is going to be my 37-week pregnancy update video. I'm officially, well, I guess I got a couple days because you got to be a full 37 weeks, full term. So I honestly wasn't planning on sharing a weekly pregnancy update video towards the end of my pregnancy, but I feel like there's a good bit to talk about. And in my last video, I had done a pregnancy Q&A, and I actually got a handful of more questions from that video. So I thought that it would be good to put them at the end of this video. So those questions will be at the end after I talk about all the updates and things that are going on, because there's just, there's a lot going on in the world, right? Okay, so since my last video, pregnancy update video, I have actually had 2 more doctor's appointments. One of them was yesterday, which was my 37-week update, or 37-week pregnancy appointment. I can't talk, y'all. Anyway, so, and obviously the week before that, I had seen another doctor. So if y'all been following me along this whole journey, I switched doctors at 35 weeks pregnant. Yes, that is crazy, and I can't believe that I actually did that. So if y'all want to know all the details to that, those will be in the other videos. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that. So I've seen a midwife and 2 OBs at this practice since I've been going there. So the midwife appointment went great. The first OB appointment, it went well. I mean, he answered all my questions. I wasn't like overwhelmed by him. I don't know how else to say it. Like, he seemed like a nice guy, but I was also like, I really hope he's not on call whenever I go into labor. Okay, I don't know. It just wasn't. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about it. He answered my questions. He was nice, but yeah. Anyway, so yesterday I had my doctor's appointment and I met another one of the OBs, and he was really nice, and I felt very, very comfortable with him, which is huge, especially being so pregnant. Like, I'm not probably gonna see these people again until I give birth to whoever catches the baby. So anyways, he was very nice. He actually put my mind at ease a lot with all the concerns that I had. Okay, so to kind of back up a little bit, my previous appointment with the other doctor that I wasn't overwhelmed by, I need to think of another word. I don't know why. Anyways, that doctor told me that so again, not the nice doctor, the other doctor, he told me that no matter what, I would have to be tested for COVID going in for delivery. And I kind of honestly was stunned by this. I was under the impression that they were only doing testing if you were showing symptoms, okay? He said that there was a 50-50 chance that Nathan would have to be tested as well. And I really honestly didn't ask any questions because I was kind of stunned, and I was thinking in my head, well, I'll be negative. I haven't been sick. We haven't been going anywhere, all that jazz, okay? Well, obviously, the longer I got to think about things, the more stressed and the more overwhelmed I got. So long story short there, I called the hospital that day and just asked them point blank all my questions, which actually led to more questions. I won't go into all the details because I don't want this to be, I don't know. It's just a hard subject, and it's a personal decision for everybody, and I don't want to let on. Anyways, the nurse that I spoke with at the hospital was very nice. She answered all my questions. She also gave me her opinion on a few matters, which actually kind of lined up with my opinion. So that, you know, that was cool. But you don't know, like, a lot of what's going to happen is going to depend on what nurses that you have, honestly, in labor and delivery. Like, even for a normal birth without a pandemic, okay? So one of the things that I was concerned about is if you happen to test positive, because there are all these false positives or positives that you're a carrier or whatever, what happens then? That was my big concern. I'm fine with taking the test. Actually, I had found out I could deny the test, but you will be treated as a positive case, whatever. Or if you take the test and if you're positive. The biggest change that they said, she said that the nurse said they would then take the baby to the NICU, but I could deny them taking the baby, and then the baby would be left with me in an incubator instead of a bassinet. And so all these things were, you know, obviously that's a big deal, okay? So I was very anxious for this doctor's appointment. he put my mind at ease, like I said. So this was now the nice doctor that I just met. He was very, very calm and just told it to me point blank. He said, listen, the hospital has their policies. And he said, you can deny the test, but they will ask you to wear a mask. And then he said, if you take the test and you're positive, he said your husband, because my biggest thing is if I test positive, which y'all pray that I will not test positive. But my biggest thing was I need my husband and I need my baby. Like, okay, anything else I can work with. Those were my two stipulations. And the doctor assured me very much so that Nathan could stay with me and that the baby would not go anywhere. That it was very inhumane to take a newborn baby away from a mother. And it's actually in our right and in our power of what happens to our baby. That the hospital or the doctor, the nurses, they have no say over what happens to the baby. Unless the mother is severely sick or something like that. So praise God for that. So, and he actually, because I told him, I was like, thank you so much. Like, and he said, obviously this is a huge concern for any expecting mother. He said, if you happen to run into any issues, call him and he will come up there if he's not the doctor that's on call whenever I have the baby. And he said that he's actually it's between both hospitals where they have rights to this practice. And he says, I've let both hospitals know where I stand on this matter, and so far we have not had any issues. He said, with that said, we still have, you still are going to be pregnant for probably about 2 more weeks. Anything can happen. He said, but he doesn't foresee any huge changes happening. Okay. Anyway, so that put my mind at ease because I had seriously contemplating after my last appointment looking into a home birth or denying the test. Again, it wasn't the fact of taking the test or not taking the test. My concern was if it was positive, what would happen? So anyways, I don't think it'll be positive. Side note, like the last week I have had a sore throat, but not anything like to where I've taken anything for it. And I normally wouldn't think anything about it. But because, the world's crazy with COVID and stuff, of course, I was like, what if I'm a carrier and all that? So anyways, so that's the update. Nathan can stay with me. You're allowed 1 person. He can leave and come back. I did find out, but I can't switch out people. Like he can't leave and have my mom come back. And the kids unfortunately can't come up there to see us, which really stinks. But they did say that the way that the rooms are set up, they have a place where like people could come up to a window from the outside and you can be on the inside. I mean, hopefully everything will be perfect and will be discharged very quickly. So actually I've had a lot of you guys contact me about COVID and how everything's being handled and all of that. So that's the update. Hopefully it stays that way. And I test negative and then we won't have any issues at all. Okay. Okay, so moving off of the COVID stuff, because it really does kind of make me anxious because it's hard enough to like, I know that this is my 10th baby, y'all. And that's what Nathan always says to me. He's like, you've got this. You've done this so many times. But I still get nervous because it's fear of the unknown. Yes, I've given birth 9 other times. However, I haven't given birth to this baby at this time. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen. It's just nerve-wracking. I haven't had any severe issues in the past before. But with it, again, being our 10th baby, I'm at a higher risk for hemorrhage and some other things. Like I don't go into this lightly, like having more children. I mean, my faith and trust is in the Lord, but it still is nerve-wracking, okay? So, and then add a pandemic on that. So, just saying. But to look on the bright side of things, Nathan, this is the first time that he will have paternity leave, paid paternity leave for 2 weeks. I'm so excited about that. So, very, very excited about that. Looking forward to that. Okay, so moving on. If y'all saw my last vlog, which I think posted last Monday, I can't remember. I titled it, Not Ready for This, I think. And it's because I really, I had I can never say this word, prodromal? False labor. Why did we change it from false labor to prodromal? So that we can't pronounce it and sound silly? Anyway, so I have never had that before. And it was intense. And it wore me out. I was legit, I really thought I might be going into labor. Now I know what to do. you know, I laid down and I rested, and if it went away within an hour, you know, it was probably fine. And that's pretty much what happened. But it was an intense day, off and on with those pains. And honestly, this morning started out like that too. I'm actually feeling better. I didn't have to lay down, but it was, yeah, anyway. So obviously my body is getting ready. Yesterday I actually felt really great. I was like, I actually went out to the store, y'all, okay? If y'all, again, follow along, I haven't been going to the stores because of COVID and blah, blah, blah. But I broke out yesterday. I ran some errands. I went to Walmart. And where else did I go? Oh, I went to Once Upon a Child. Anyways, which I scored some majorly good stuff. They had like all their clearance stuff was 70% off. And I got a good handful of stuff for the baby. Like, I don't even know how much stuff. And then I got 4 items for Reagan for like $30. It was a really good deal. Anyway, side note there. So, I felt really good yesterday. Went out, like I said, and then I had my doctor's appointment, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but then I don't know if that's what did it. I woke up this morning and I was just like, ooh. So, but I do feel better now. Side note, I didn't even touch on my doctor's appointment. So I had met this nice doctor. We had a very good conversation. He was very down to earth. Like I said, put my mind at ease about a lot of things. He actually had a lot of questions for me, being our 10th baby, and you know, just kind of how we've handled things in the past. And he was just very, it felt like he wanted to know me personally, not just as a patient. And then in my history, if y'all don't know this, I have had 5 babies that I've had to be induced with because of low amniotic fluid, okay? That's the very quick, short end story of it all. And he's like, what is this? Because it's very uncommon. I was like, yeah, I know. I don't know. That's all I got. He was like, well, and I wasn't supposed to have an ultrasound. He said, honestly, I'd feel a whole lot better if I did an ultrasound on you just to make sure that everything's okay. And I was like, thank you, because so many doctors like have avoided this for me. I've heard hundreds of times, not literally, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, there's no way that this would happen to you again. Well, it has. Okay. Anyways, so he brought me into the ultrasound room, did an ultrasound, and fluid levels are good. So he did say that my next appointment's on Tuesday. That is July 28th. That I will have another ultrasound then. So be praying that fluid levels stay good, okay? Because I don't want to be induced. I want to go to labor on my own. Sorry. So side note. So I've touched on my doctor's appointment. I touched on COVID. I touched on my false labor pains because I'm not saying prodromal again. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm feeling pretty good. My mind's at ease. I still have not packed my hospital bag. I know. I got a few last minute things yesterday. I washed them. They're ready to go. I wanted to get a new pajama set for me, and I can't find anything that I like. That's partly why I went out yesterday. I have ran into Ross and Target. Like, whenever I say run in, I mean I go just to the pajama section, look, and I didn't see anything. So I looked at Ross, Target, and Walmart. I think that's it. And nothing just jumped out at me. But I just ordered like 5 shirts on Amazon. Sorry, Nathan. So I'm thinking one of those will do for like a shirt for me in the hospital. I don't like wear like traditional pajamas in the hospital. So I'm thinking I'll just take yoga pants and one of these tops that I bought. And like I said, I went out shopping. And I totally made up for me not shopping for the last month or whatever. I told Nathan last night how much I spent. And he's like, nice, okay. I was like, sorry. We had some fun. I actually took my girls out shopping too. We had a lot of fun. Anyways, so yeah, that's my update for the pregnancy stuff. So I am praying that I will go into labor on my own. I would prefer that and not be induced. And just, you know, I got my raspberry leaf tea. I'm starting to drink that today. And yeah, I actually will have a video coming out of preparing for labor and hospital bag and all that of stuff that I'm working on. So be on the lookout for that too. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I kind of rambled there, but what's new, right? Anyway, so hopefully y'all are still with me. So to touch on some of these questions that I had gotten after I posted that video, They're really good questions, and I get these questions a lot, so I just figured, you know, if other people are curious about them as well, I will share them here. So I think there's only like 3 or 4 questions. Okay, so Emma McDougall, sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing names. If I got that, McDougall, if I got that wrong. She asked, how do you balance the first few weeks with a newborn because of the sleepless nights and all that, and having other children? And that is a huge deal. And I actually answered her personally on the question comment, but again, I get asked these sorts of things a lot, and I think a lot of moms can relate. Like when you're having your second baby or your third baby, it's like, how am I supposed to do all of this while I'm sleep deprived? Because you can't sleep when the baby sleeps anymore because you have older kids. Grace, y'all, grace. When you're in baby season, even if you're in it for 14 years like me, you got to give yourself grace. You can't expect yourself to be doing all the things for everybody the way that you used to when you only got a few hours of sleep because you have a newborn. That season of time of having a newborn baby and not getting a ton of sleep really is not that long. Drew still does not sleep through the night, and he's 16 months old. However, just saying, when you learn to adapt, give yourself grace, give the kids grace, because it's an adjustment for them as well. So say if the baby's up all night, our next day really looks like very much chilling, and if the kids are happy and fed, I call it a successful day, okay? If the laundry doesn't get folded, it's okay. It's not going anywhere. It'll still be there tomorrow. If the bathroom needs to be cleaned, again, the mess will still be there tomorrow. So just give yourself grace and take it seriously one day at a time during those moments. We don't want to stress ourselves and overwhelm ourselves so much that we're not enjoying the newborn stage. And that's really important because it doesn't last that long, as we all know. So Becky asked me, can you realistically afford more kids? Okay. And she went on, like, she understands that our faith and trust is in the Lord regarding this. But so on black and white, like I say that, like, if we wrote down, you know, how much money's coming in and how much money's going out, we have had periods of time in our life where it would be negative, like if I wrote it all out, but we are never negative. Okay. One, you learn how to do without certain things. We don't have, you know, a big fancy car payment, and stuff like that. We live within our means, and we have just learned, you know, what we can afford and what we can't afford. If we can't afford it, that's really okay with us. We typically pay cash for things, because we don't want to go into debt, because then obviously that's something that you really can't afford. But you just learn to live within your means, even with this many children. I've learned to shop, you know, at thrift stores, and like I mentioned, Once Upon a Child, getting things used whenever I can. And actually, side note, the stuff that I needed for Reagan, I was going to buy at Walmart, and it was going to cost me like $50 at Walmart. Okay, I was like, yeah, and I was like, well, $50. I mean, do I have $50 right now to spend that? Yeah, I do. I could. But that's still, I knew I could probably do it cheaper. So I always look for the cheaper route. And I was like, you know what? Let me run into Once Upon a Child. And I ended up doing that. And I got what she needed for like 15 bucks. So I saved $35. Okay? It's only $35, but when you do that over and over again, it really adds up. And that's just how we approach pretty much every purchase. It's actually more so me. Nathan's always like, if you want it, buy it. That's why, like, whenever I went shopping, I didn't worry about that, and I teased Nathan. Totally was a tease. Because he's like that. He's like, if you like it, buy it. Like, he doesn't care. Which is kind of nice. So whenever I do go shopping and come home, I'm like, hi. He's like, okay, as long as you're happy, you know, whatever. And he knows that I'm not going to spend unnecessary money on some, you know what I mean. Anyway, so, and honestly, God provides. We have had seasons in our life, like in a previous vlog that I had shared, our washer broke. God provided a new washer for us. And that's where, to me, it's awesome to see. And instead of like going and charging something, say we went and we charged a new washer. In that sense, I feel like Visa becomes God instead of God becoming God. Does that make sense? It's easy to go and charge something because, yeah, we needed a new washer. But instead, God was able to step in and provide those things for us. Okay, I have a whole tangent on that, sorry. And another thing to remember too is kids aren't expensive, lifestyles are. You can dress your kid from head to toe and name brand stuff. Yeah, they're gonna look cute, but my kids would go out and roll out in the mud still in them, whether they were in, you know, Gymboree clothes or Walmart clothes. So anyways, that's just how we look at it. So another question, big question was COVID. I covered all of that, I think, hopefully somewhat clearly. I'm kind of a hot mess, y'all. Hopefully y'all can follow my rabbit trails. Anyway, so the last question is, how has your body held up to having so many babies, and especially in postpartum? So I did kind of touch on a question similar to this in the previous video. Honestly, I'm obviously feeling things. I've shared about that a lot, the ligament pains and the back pain and stuff like that. That is all from your body being stretched out from having babies and so many babies, but you feel that like even after your second or third baby. So is it a little bit more intense? Yeah, but I don't know if it's the number of babies, age, because, you know, I'm technically geriatric pregnancy age now, or if it's the heat, baby's position, the baby, this pregnancy, all of those things come into play with that. And again, it's such a short time, like it's a season, and I just kind of, that's how I look at it, is it's 9 months and then I have a lifetime with a new baby. As far as postpartum goes, again, that has varied, and Drew's postpartum was actually kind of hard on me, but Harper's was great, you know, and she was baby number 8. In case y'all don't know, Drew was baby number 9, so my last 2 babies. Harper's postpartum was great, Drew's was not. So again, I feel like a lot of that is just circumstantial, and I have a great support system. I have a great husband. My kids are very, very helpful. So I don't really look at those things as like a negative. I look at it as mom needs time to heal. And that's how I say it to the kids, and they understand that. And they just know, again, that it's a season, and that's how I say it to them. You know, it's only a season. It's only a short amount of time that I'm going to feel like this, and then, you know, mommy will be back to normal or back to herself or whatever. But it also gives an opportunity for them to step up and learn to do things, to help our family, to serve our family. And they see that within each other, and with my husband whenever he's helping, and my mom when she comes over and helps, stuff like that. So I just think it also teaches everybody a good life lesson, okay? Okay, anyways, hopefully I did not yammer on too long. Again, 37-week pregnancy update. My next doctor's appointment and ultrasound is on Tuesday, July 28th. Be praying that my fluid levels are good, y'all. So when the doctor said that, like, about getting an ultrasound, I wanted it. I wanted the peace of mind of fluid levels being good, but what if they weren't? Because I had Logan at 37 weeks because of fluid levels, and it was very much, hey, you need to go to the hospital and have a baby. I was not ready. And so when I said that to the doctor, I was like, you need to find some big pockets of fluid in there because I am not ready. He found them. So anyways, if y'all don't know, they measure 4 sides of the baby. They measure the fluid levels, and it has to equal higher than 5. And he found up to 8, and then he didn't even measure the last pocket because he was like, you're above a 5, we're good. So biggest thing is chugging water for me right now. So yeah, anyways, okay, I'll stop rambling. I hope that you all have a blessed day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.